Hello, this is Donna, psychic medium and direct messenger for spirit. The afterlife is, actually, all around us. The messages from our loved ones, spirit guides, and pieces of our soul are waiting to be heard. If this is your first episode, welcome. I invite you to go back and listen to previous episodes where I link my guest to their loved one or a piece of their soul's existence in the afterlife. Thank you for listening and for sharing. Please consider leaving a review. Enjoy and stay tuned for more. I have a feeling there will be much more from the afterlife. If you are interested in a private reading with me, or if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast, see the show notes. All right, so we're going to read a loved one today. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to start with both closing our eyes.
Okay.
And we're going to take 3 full breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking a breath in and letting it go with a sigh, letting go of everything we brought before this moment. Breathing in again. And exhaling, softening from the head through the toes. One more breath in through the nose together and out through the mouth. Opening the heart and the mind. Would you state for me your first name and the phrase, "It's a beautiful day"?
Mary, it's a beautiful day.
Thank you. You can open your eyes now. Mary, will you state the first name of the loved one that you'd like to connect with?
Karen.
Karen. Before we started, while we were breathing, a large mother presence came in. Is Karen a motherly presence for you?
Yes. Yes.
I also felt a lot of sensation in my neck and the back of my head. It felt more like a rush of something. Would that make sense with Karen as to maybe how she crossed?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I don't feel any other physical sensations. It's almost like when she crossed, it was quick. Would that make sense?
It was quick.
But I also feel she felt some sadness. So I don't know if the sadness came right before it happened or after it happened. Is that making sense?
I would assume that there was sadness. Yes.
I hear you say she went quick, and I do feel that. But was she alert for a little bit before she left this physical plane?
I think she knew what was happening and it scared her.
I'm going to go with that because I felt tears welling up in my eyes. Even though let me say again, I don't feel any physical pain in my body. She understood what was happening. And yes, she did have sadness.
Yep.
And you understand, Mary, that's not who she is now. She's only showing me that now. So we know we have her.
Yep. That makes sense.
I feel her when this happened. Either she was alone or she couldn't yell out. Would that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So both of those or one?
I don't know the exact details, but she might have been alone for a moment when it first started. She wasn't when it actually happened, but yeah, she wouldn't have been able to yell out. I think she tried. She wasn't successful at it.
That's what I was getting. Thank you for confirming that. So after the realization what was happening, she had this wonderful sense of peace about her.
Good.
And in that sense of peace, I'm getting goosebumps all up and down my legs. In that sense of peace, she couldn't wait to move out of her body and walk toward the light. Do you understand?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
She had that ability, though, because as I was even going through the opening, I started to really calm myself when she walked in. My voice got softer as we were going through our opening breaths.
Mm-hmm.
So she had that ability, even though it felt like the duh of what just happened.
Right.
I feel there was a piece of her that said, oh, okay. And that acceptance piece happened. Would you say that in her life that's the way she was? She may have felt things, gosh, this is happening.
Yes.
However, oh, okay, this is happening.
Oh, yeah. She definitely is the person I got my most grace from, learning how to be graceful in life's trials and tribulations. She definitely taught me some skills there.
Beautiful. So you're agreeing that's the way she was.
Yes.
She also, soul left her physical body before her heart stopped. So if there was a time when someone might have been looking at her going, I don't believe she's here, but yet her heart is still beating, she wasn't there. She had left. She had gone.
Okay.
Sometimes that happens when there's so much trauma
Uh-huh.
and the body doesn't want to feel it, the soul rises. But not this time. She couldn't wait because she saw such a beautiful light. She's like, I'm out. I'm out of here. And that's why my legs, they're still tingling, because she literally got up. I'm watching her get up, her soul get up out of the physical body and begin to walk toward the light.
That's awesome. That's beautiful.
Sounds like her?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She was not afraid. And she was very, okay, I'm going over there now kind of person.
That is exactly what she did. Is this your mother?
Yes.
So do you know if her mother was in the world of non-physical?
Non-physical, yes.
So her mother was in front of her,
I believe that.
not over her, but she was part of that, oh, the light. And then the light kind of parts and, oh, mom,
Yep.
oh, I get it. I get where I'm going. That's right before the moment she chose to get up and walk away from her physical body.
I love it.
It was a beautiful experience because I'm seeing it through her eyes.
I love it.
It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. I wish I could draw this, but I am not an artist.
I love it. I became a photographer because I couldn't draw the things in my head.
I get it. She did not have that sense of I wasn't finished with my life when she got there.
Good.
She did not. I don't know if you thought that or wondered that. She didn't have that sense at all. Once she got into the light, we'll call it, she went, okay, I guess I was done with that.
I believe that. That sounds so much like her.
I guess there was nothing else to do.
She did a lot.
Do you know if she either wrote you a letter, or do you have something in her handwriting, or was she some sort of writer?
Yes. Yes.
I feel the first thing I said was, you have a letter from her. Is that a yes?
Yes.
Did she write it knowing that someday she would pass? Did she write it as a goodbye?
She did. Not exactly like that, but it's in that family. When she would write, it would feel like for us to have later. It was really wild.
Oh, it makes me want to do that now for my daughter.
Yeah.
However, she didn't know this was going to happen.
No.
She had the sense to do it before this event that took her life.
Yes.
So she's acknowledging that. That's cool. The letter that you have. She's telling me, wow, Donna, that took a lot out of me to write that. So she's telling me, you better be prepared if you write that for your daughter. I'm like, oh, the emotions that came up and the thoughts I had about this means that someday they will be without me. Do you understand that?
I do.
So she had that knowing, but she probably didn't show it.
No.
She was like, no, I got to write this. I got to do it. But when she did it, I can't tell how she thought about doing it, but I feel someone around her said to her, you should do that for your kids before it's your time.
Really?
Someone said to her just off the cuff, why don't you write your kids a letter? And she's like, I talk to them all the time. And they're like, whoever said this to her, I feel it's another woman. Maybe it was a friend in her life or something like that. Or maybe she heard it from a dream. You should do that. You should write a letter. She definitely had a spiritual side to her, didn't she?
Yes, very much so.
She liked to turn on a light for people. She liked to be that, like what you and I were talking before this began, what I do for my social media. She was doing that without social media. She was doing that socially.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, you are agreeing that she had that ability to talk to people in her physical world and help them understand in a more spiritual way.
Yes.
And it wasn't just family. It was a lot of her friends and people maybe she didn't even know, like going into the grocery store like I do. All of a sudden you're talking to somebody in the grocery store.
Yes.
She says, she knows how much I love her. But she's telling me, Donna, there was also a time where I struggled with love.
Yeah.
She's telling me, I didn't want to show my children that. But I do believe they saw what I was going through. Do you understand that, Mary?
Yes.
And then she's like, oh, well, that was part of my life. Oh, well.
That's her. I love it.
Do you want to elaborate a little bit on that piece?
Yes. We had a pretty rough upbringing. So there were times that she was going through a lot. And when your mom's going through a lot, you're going through a lot. And during that time, it was definitely difficult to feel safe and loved by her. Later on, though, that changed. Definitely, there was times in my life that because of what she was going through, I couldn't connect with her completely.
Got it.
I had to keep her out of my life at one point. We grew past that, thank God. But there was times where I felt basically like I didn't have a relationship with her when I was young. And it was a lot to do with what she was going through and her life journey at the time. And it felt unsafe. So I just couldn't be around it. She was doing her own thing and didn't really reach out during that time, but it did change. So I'm grateful for that.
I understand. I understand how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the first thing she talked about, which I love, wasn't the first thing on her mind.
Good.
But the way she spoke to me when she was saying, Donna, this is what happened, instead of really directly at you, it was like almost a little bit of more embarrassment than shame.
Yes, I could see that.
And of course, I have no judgment. I honor her. We all have been through things in our lives where our kids maybe weren't happy with us.
Yes.
But I honor her right now.
Yeah.
And she said to me, that's a big word. And I don't know if that piece of me that may still be thinking about that time of my life, I'm not sure if I understand the word honor.
That makes so much sense. Yeah.
Every time she talks about that, I drift forward to the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she talks about more the peaceful way of how she is now, I drift back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed that.
I did. Yes.
She understands the word honor, but at that point of her life, she wasn't understanding that she needed to honor what she was going through and how it made her who she was in the end or in the long run.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You feel that about her.
Oh, yeah.
You understand that.
And just, can I share something?
Please.
When she would have those sorts of deep conversations, she often would just put her head onto my head and talk to me. So when you were drifting towards the camera, it reminded me of her doing that.
Oh, come on. I love that.
Seriously. It was like when you were doing that, I felt like I had to drift forward too, because sometimes we would just put our heads together, out of just love for each other. But sometimes things are hard to talk about.
What a beautiful confirmation.
Very.
I love the way spirit will take over my body because I know there's a reason for everything, but I couldn't figure out, why am I doing this?
That was totally her.
Why am I drifting forward and
I
back?
started drifting forward too when you were doing it. And I'm like, that's totally her. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thanks for sharing that. Do you know if someone else also has a piece of jewelry that either might have her name on it or her initial on it, a necklace, a pin, a sweater, anything that would have her initial?
I don't specifically have any of those that I can remember at this point. I'd have to go look at my jewelry box, but I don't think I have any. I know some of my siblings may have like a ring or something like that. She loved rings, so I'm positive some of them have those.
And I'm specifically being drawn to either her name on it or her initial on it. Do you know of that?
Okay. That I don't know. I'll have to ask.
So that's what I was being drawn to, feeling more smaller things. So either a pin, a brooch, or a ring that would have either her first name or first initial, something like that.
Okay. There's very possibly one out there. I think there is a ring. It was like a grandmother ring or a mother ring or something somebody got her. And I'm pretty sure her name's on that. I'll ask because I've seen it in photos, but I haven't seen it.
So one of your siblings might have it. So she's bringing that up.
Yes.
Not saying give it to somebody else, just bringing it up.
Okay. Now I get it.
Okay.
So my sister Katrina has the ring, I'm pretty sure. And her first initial is K, which is Karen. So I think that's it.
Oh, that could be it.
I'm thinking so. Because when you say initial, because that's who I saw in a picture, her wearing it. I think that's it. I don't know. Because K makes sense.
That makes sense because I kept pushing. I kept
That first initial.
pushing the
Yep.
initial.
Yep.
Has your mother not been in the world of spirit very long, like under 8 years?
Yeah, under 8 years for sure.
She has a wonderful ability to talk the way she's been talking, but there are other aspects where she's not as clear. And that to me is just, she hasn't really practiced that as much
Yeah, that makes sense.
over there. She's good at telepathically talking, but when she's focused me on the ring and something, it's another stage of where I'm going. And I was like, yeah, you need to be more explicit with that. And she just practices that.
Right.
But she's doing very well. She had the ability also to stand for herself, either to stand up for herself. She did not want to let anybody to push her down, put her back down in her place.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
She had a very fiery personality. So I'm very soft kind of person, but yeah, absolutely. If she felt like you were walking over her or taking advantage of her or her kids, she was very capable of standing up to anybody. It didn't matter who. She really didn't care if you were the president of the United States or a dog. It didn't matter. For example, she had a nickname when she was young because she was such a fiery, spirited young lady. And I've nicknamed my animals that are really spirited after that. So she's just fiery, definitely will stand up for herself if she needs to.
It's like a spark.
Yes.
Like she didn't waste any time.
Nope.
When you light a lighter, that's what she's doing. Just nope, don't waste any time. I'm
Yep.
just do this and stand right up for myself. Where so many of us are ruminating it all in our head. What should I say? Oh crap, it's too late now. I'm gonna have to wait till the next time. She did not have that.
Nope.
I like spark.
Mm-hmm.
She certainly wished she could travel more.
Oh,
do you know the answer to that?
Yes. She loved travel.
But there wasn't enough.
Mm-mm.
And I don't feel it's physically she couldn't do it. I feel that just life got in the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now she's saying, but I can see now all of those places where I wanted to travel. I can go there. If I want to go sit on the top of the Eiffel Tower, I'm going to go sit on the top of the Eiffel Tower.
I totally believe that she already has. I could totally see her doing that.
That's interesting because I don't think any soul has ever said something like that to me. Of course, they could go places and mingle because they're all here.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just seeing her sitting at the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely love it. I could totally see her doing it. That's absolutely her personality. If she could have done it in life, she would have and taken us with her.
She says, if you think the view is good from up there, can you imagine what the view is from here in the world of spirit?
I can't even imagine.
We can't be that expansive. Can we be that expansive? I mean, we could see space. We could, in our head, right?
Yeah.
We could feel that. But if you could stand like right where I am right now in the US, in the state of Connecticut, if I could just open my window and see right out to the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
That's the way it would be.
Wow. I love it.
In spirit. We're sitting here, but yet, there's, all the TV shows that you've watched of like the holodeck, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it.
Exactly the way it is.
I could totally see her in her energy that she has. I could see her being really connected to that because that's how she was in life, in the physical world. She loved vistas and views, and she loved that
beauty.
She would make us pull over for them, and she really enjoyed the beauty of nature, very much so.
I love that confirmation. Thank you. Your dad, they're not together. Did he cross a long time before?
Yes, on both of them. They weren't together, and he did cross a long time before.
And I don't see them together. No good, bad, right, or wrong.
Right.
She's more of the feminine.
Yeah.
wants to hang out more with females because some souls are just souls and they don't define themselves as that. I just feel she's still in that mode of, I just want to have all the emotions still
Yeah.
that I don't think I experienced in the physical world. I want to have them all now.
I can feel that. I can sense that. That's really amazing because she's safe now.
Right.
So to have them, it's safe.
Right. And I said, are you going to feel what we would consider bad ones? I don't like to say that word, but the more emotional
The
ones,
harder ones.
the harder ones. I'll say that. And she says, yep, I'm going to have them all because you said it. It's safe here to feel them all, just to feel them. And sometimes it's only for a quick second.
Wow.
Because she said, I eventually want to understand the physical world more.
That makes so much sense.
If I decide to go back to being a human or whatever exists years from now, I want to feel all those emotions and not attach to them
Like she was.
Yeah.
That's incredibly on target because that's one of the things that she and I talked a lot about when she and I would have conversations after I was an adult, is letting go of these things, letting go of some of those emotions. So that's very interesting that she's doing the work right now, because that was something that was difficult for her to achieve here.
Mm.
I mean, she was open about it. So definitely conversations her and I had. So you really hit on target, something that's very between her and I. I don't know what she and I had very distinct conversations about letting go of things that weren't serving her anymore. You got to learn from it and then say, okay, I'm done. And she definitely struggled with that. So it's actually very heartwarming to hear that she's doing that work for herself.
She wants to do it instead of just jumping.
Yeah.
To, I'm up here, all is well.
So much sense.
Myself, I still don't understand what it does for their soul. Does it make them, because they're their soul. Their soul is vast and massive, but she's still kind of the human form of the soul up there. And again, no good, bad, right, or wrong. She's right here.
Right.
It's what she's choosing to do right now. It's still an evolution.
Yeah.
For her, because she's still in that mindset. Some souls do it quickly when they cross. They'll do the life review and they'll do it over and over and over and over. I know my dad did it like 8 times, probably more. And then they're off.
Yeah.
And then they're doing whatever they can do for souls. But I feel that she's doing it because she wants to help the souls that cross.
That makes sense.
The ones that still hold on to emotions like that.
That makes total sense.
So she'll be a teacher.
I love it.
She'll be a guide for the souls that have crossed. I may have given her an idea, or maybe she already knew it, but
I think she'll be a great guide.
She's like shaking her head. Yeah, yeah, Donna. Mary, would you like to elaborate on anything else before we say goodbye to your mom?
She was somebody who lived a lot. She had a lot of lives. She had 5 marriages and 11 births.
Wow.
A lot of life in one little life, and definitely had that fiery part of her. But then she also had this very gentle part of her. And I could see her wanting to understand the emotions better. Definitely, because we talked about it. When she passed, it was unexpected, completely and utterly unexpected. It was quick, thankfully. It was at a doctor's office. So yeah, she had gone in for a neck adjustment. They are saying it was before the adjustment. I don't know for sure. Either way, I can't care about that. But what I felt, what was coming through to me, is that she was alone for a minute when she felt this coming on.
Mm.
And I'm glad to hear that she just said, okay, I'm good. Because that was how she was too. When it was done, it was done. It was time to move on. She would do it. And she loved her mom. I'm really grateful she's there with him. That's great.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'd like to thank my guest today for allowing all of us to join in on their process, their journey. And I'd like to thank you for not only listening, but coming together in a oneness vibration. Thanks again.